How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today, I've been meaning to make this video for quite some time. I've had this in, the little archives part of my brain for probably, 2 weeks now. Today, I'm going to be talking about my worst and best takes in recent memory, kind of just going back through my uploads, figuring out which of my takes aged really well and which of them aged really fucking bad. And I'll be honest with you, I found a lot of bad ones, and I kind of struggled to find major good ones that I made. But let's get right into it. We're gonna start with, of course, the ones I have listed here. My first worst take that I can remember, in recent memory, was Kai Kara-France versus Steve Erceg. My prediction for this fight was Steve Erceg by unanimous decision, 30-27. On record, you can go back and watch one of the videos I'm actually going to mention later. I, quote, said Steve Erceg is going to piss stomp Kai Kara-France. What actually happened was Kai Kara knocked him the fuck out in the first round, very early. Now, why is this take so bad? I had gone on record saying that it wouldn't be competitive in a video called Fights That Won't Be Competitive, and at one point said I think Steve Erceg piss stomps Kai Kara-France, like I aforementioned. I was very high on Steve Erceg hype following the Pantoja fight, which might be mentioned later. Yeah, it was just, I was very confident about this fight. I really thought Steve, too good of a boxer for Kai Kara, which is where Kai Kara does a lot of his best work, is in the striking department, mixes a lot of, really solid overhands and jabs, and I was like, Steve Erceg is too good at boxing to be caught by Kai Kara, and I think he's just going to style on him for the most part. And, the fight was, fairly competitive. I think Kai Kara was winning the round up to that point to the day, but he capitalized on bad defense by good old Steve Erceg and knocked him out. Counterparting this, or to counteract this, is a good take that I had, which was Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov. I predicted that Nasruddin would knock out Israel Adesanya, albeit in the later rounds. What happened was Imavov knocked him out in the second round. Why was this good? Imavov was the underdog, and what I mean by that is, and shockingly, what I mean by that is, I think every predicting channel I saw on YouTube, besides Kenny, was picking Nasruddin to finish Israel. So, this isn't a really high-level take. It kind of is because he was an underdog in a main event against Israel Adesanya, and I think a lot of people might not have been picking him by KO. I think some people were picking him by decision. I predicted that the grappling would set up the seminal blow, which was the right overhand. I said that, Nasruddin would look to clinch early, look to kind of press Israel against the fence on the feet. Nasruddin's one of the only dudes in the division that can match the speed of Adesanya. I said that early on Adesanya would have success, but would slow down, which already in the fight, to be fair, he was kind of slowing down. He did throw a lot in that first round. And I said that Imavov's speed would cause problems, which it did. Imavov is, shockingly quick for his size, and it caught up with Israel. Israel's reaction time was not up to par for the speed Nasruddin was throwing, and he got caught for it. So a lot of people picked Nasruddin to win. It's just he was an underdog, and I think a lot of people didn't really think he actually had the ability to knock out Israel Adesanya. I for sure thought he was going to TKO Israel Adesanya. I knew he was going to do it. Even in the lead up to this fight, when this fight got announced, I think I said that Nasruddin's speed would cause problems, and he probably has one of the better chances in the division of knocking him out. My worst second take, the second worst take that I have on here, this is not in where I would rank these. This is just in my mind when these popped up. Renato Moicano versus Benoit Saint-Denis. I predicted Benoit Saint-Denis to knock out Renato Moicano in the first round. What actually happened was Moicano face-fucked him really bad. Why was this take so bad? I said that Benoit would defend takedowns relatively easily, which would lead to victory. I said the body kick would win him the fight. I literally in the video was like, Moicano gets hurt to the body easily. Jalen Turner clipped him to the body. He's been hurt to the body before. People set up body strikes to the head strikes like Rafael Fiziev did. He did the body, 2 body hooks, and then upstairs. Which in reality, Benoit throwing the body kick is actually what made him lose, because he got his kick caught and then got put into a ultimatum type position, whether you give up your back or you take full guard, and Moicano got the takedown. I said that BSD would inherently make it look simple and knock Moicano out brutally, which, as we all know, did not happen. Moicano beat the shit out of Benoit Saint-Denis, which I got clowned on pretty hard by some of my friends for this take, because I was like, dude, Moicano's old as shit, man. Benoit's gonna fucking torch him, dude. And then, you know, the next day when we saw each other, he was like, oh, did he fucking torch him, buddy? And I was like, all right, okay, dude. Not my brightest pick. You know, in hindsight, I think that I really should have factored in the fact that Benoit hadn't been fighting MMA for a while, and that maybe his grappling was a little overhyped going into that. To be fair, he never, like, truly took down Dustin Poirier. It was a lot of Poirier pulling guillotines and then giving up his back to Benoit, which, by the way, when I release this video, this is already news. Has anyone seen the fight announcement for Benoit? Because Joel Alvarez pulled out, of course, everyone knows that. But the dude that he's fighting is like, I've literally forgot his name. It's like Prepolek or whatever. He's some Canadian dude who hasn't fought in the UFC in like 6 years, I think. He's shit. Really bad fight. This card this weekend might actually be, it's not going to be worse than 312, but it might actually be like close to it. But yeah, terrible pick by me, nonetheless. A good take that counteracts this was Pantoja versus Asakura. I predicted this fight to the T, exact round, exact finish. I predicted that Pantoja would sub him in the second round with a rear naked choke. Pantoja got the second round rear naked choke. I also said even though Asakura may seem like he has a stand-up advantage, I brought up the fact that Pantoja's striking is still underrated, and that he is like a marauder. People think of him as just like a bonehead, you know, fucking just walking you down, not really good at anything, and just kind of throwing haymakers. He's actually really fucking good and talented when it comes to every aspect of MMA, and will crack him at one point. I said that he would crack Kaya Sakura. Kaya Sakura himself is decently open on the feet and has been hurt himself many a times before, and I said that's exactly what would happen. I said that, you know, Pantoja would walk him down, beat him up, find the ground exchanges, crack him at one point. Maybe Asakura has like a single moment of success, which in this case happened to be the flying knee that he threw in the first round, but eventually Pantoja would find the back and submit him. Not like a crazy good take. I think most, if not everybody, was picking Alexandre Pantoja. If you didn't, you were solely doing it because Alexandre's old as shit and Kaya Sakura had aura during fight week. But yeah, not like supremely good, but like still decent. A bad pick. One of my not picks, but like takes is what I should be saying. Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad and Sean Brady. This part of the video might be long. My prediction, I predicted that Leon Edwards, I think I predicted him to finish both Bilal and Sean. I know I predicted him to finish Sean Brady. I'm pretty sure I did. Bilal, I think that he could finish him. What actually happened was he got touched inappropriately. Why was this take so bad? He got fucking dog walked. He did look shit for the most part in both fights. Got slammed on his bald spot against Bilal, controlled very easily, taken advantage of in a sick and twisted way only seen on Law & Order Special Victims Unit. You would think after the Bilal Muhammad performance, I'd be like, Sean Brady can ragdoll the fuck out of this guy. But in my little pea brain, I was like, Sean Brady just went toe-to-toe and went life and death with a 38-year-old Gilbert Burns, and didn't look all that great. He looked good, don't get me wrong, he did look solid against Gilbert Burns, but I was like, that's like an old, withered Gilbert Burns. If he's not able to, you know, get to crazy dominant position on him, I think Leon Edwards, with the initiative going from the Muhammad fight that he needs to put his foot on the gas and not allow himself to get controlled as much, he didn't make any adjustments. He looked exactly the same, if not worse, than the Bilal Muhammad fight, which the Bilal Muhammad fight was clearly a 48-47 decision, but nobody talks about that. But Leon was the closest one to finding a finish in that entire fight, but no one wants to talk about that. But anyways, Sean Brady, I should have picked Sean Brady to win that. I saw Leon Edwards as an underdog. I've always kind of never been the biggest Sean Brady fan, or I've never really respected him. I don't know why. I just do that with some fighters, like Anthony Hernandez to the day. Like, not to the day, but like for the long, even after the Michel Pereira fight, I was like, dude, this guy's not that good. After the Brendan Allen rematch, I was like, this guy, okay, fine, he's actually good. I put him in my Dark Horses video, of course. Yeah, Leon, I have no idea why the fuck I picked him against Sean Brady. Against Bilal, I think most, if not like, most people were picking Leon. The only two people that I know personally that picked Bilal were Bedtime and Kenny Okoye, which, bravo, great takes, gentlemen. You guys really, fleeced that. But for some reason, I think we all, going into the Sean Brady fight, for the most part, because from what I remember, a lot of people were picking Leon Edwards again. I have no idea why. I don't know why we all kind of just like... It's like Israel Adesanya back, like, before the, like, the Pereira, like, not the Pereira, the Sean Strickland fight. Like, Pereira, like, Israel always has these very lackluster performances, but we're always like, dude, he's like the best striker in the division, brah. Like, even though he's been outstruck many a time before by people who not a lot of people respect as very good strikers, but to the day, we're still like, Israel Adesanya, man, he's got the striking advantage over everybody, dude. Even though we've seen him get outstruck by Imavov, Sean Strickland, Pereira, in most rounds, at least, by Pereira. I don't know. I don't know what it is with Leon. I have short-term memory loss when it comes to this fucking guy. I think Leon will lose to Ian Gary in his next fight, if that's a fight they make. I don't think I can pick Leon Edwards anymore. A good take that outweighs this is Gaethje versus Holloway at UFC 300. I predicted Holloway would get a 4th-round KO. What happened was Holloway knocked him out in the 5th. But to be fair, actually no, was the 4th when Gaethje knocked him down, or did Holloway hurt him early in the 5th and then knocked him out later, or did he hurt him late in the 4th? I think it might have been early in the 5th, but he was close to finding a finish either early in the 5th or late in the 4th. I forget what it was. Why is this take so good? One, Holloway was the underdog. Secondly, I said he would outstrike and skillfully dismantle Justin on the feet. I did say Max would get knocked down at one point. I did say that. I said, not only do I think Justin can knock him down, I think he will knock him down at one point. But over time, Max would hurt Gaethje more and more, which he did, finishing off later in the fight, kind of like a damage pile-on finish. Kind of what would have happened if Herb Dean stepped in against Calvin Kattar, where it's like he's against the fence and he's kind of like, I didn't expect him. Excuse me. I didn't expect him to like flatline Gaethje. I think what I said was he would like crumble against the fence and kind of give way a little bit. But Holloway brutally knocked him out. But yeah, I think a lot of people were like entertaining the idea of picking a Holloway. I know MMA Guru went on a whole crusade about how Holloway was better than him and was going to beat him. Which, by the way, that's not what influenced me to make this pick. I genuinely was like, I think Holloway is just a better fighter than Gaethje. I don't think that the size, I think, because I was going into it with like the idea that Holloway knew about this fight for like 6 months or 7 months prior and was bulking up already. So I was like, it's not going to be like a Poirier situation where he only has like 6 weeks to bulk up. He's going to have a full camp. For Gaethje, who isn't as technical, who isn't as... he's dangerous, but, like, he makes dumbass mistakes and it gets clipped a lot. And I just thought that Holloway was the better fighter, which on the night he for sure was. He was just a better fighter than Justin Gaethje. But, yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid take of mine. A bad take, to counteract this, fights that won't be competitive. Now, this goes back to this take. This video is where I say piss stomps Kai Kara France. Let's go back to this. Basically, the whole video was bad. Opposite of everything I said besides, like, 2 things. I cringe looking back on it. Some fights in this video that I said, for one, of course, the Kai Kara France Steve Erceg fight wouldn't be competitive. I said that the Chito Vera Davison Figueiredo fight wouldn't be competitive, even though it very clearly was. The only fight on there that I think you could really even, like, say was a good take was Ortega versus Lopez. I said Diego Lopez is just a better Brian Ortega, hits harder, has similar jiu-jitsu aspects, and is bigger, which, I mean, at 306, that fight was pretty one-sided for the most part, outside of, like, certain moments in round 2 and early round 3, I guess. 155, I think I said Islam Arman 2, which, looking back in it, I have no idea why the fuck I said that. That fight would be insanely competitive. I said Ian Gary MVP, which on paper I still think that fight would, like, I'm not mad at the idea of that, but very clearly it wasn't. Some people actually thought that fight was a robbery, even though it very clearly wasn't. 185, I think I had Israel DDP, which just was wrong because I was picking Israel in that fight. 205, I had Ankalaev versus Pereira, which, again, I was picking Alex Pereira, and that fight was also uber competitive. And then heavyweight, I had Jones versus Stipe, which wasn't non-competitive. Like, Stipe had moments where he was trudging down John Jones, but, like, it was decently one-sided for the most part. But anyway, this video just blew dick all over the place. It fucking sucked. Like, the takes in the video were terrible. I got my picks wrong for the most part. I picked Steve Erceg, he lost. I picked Cheeto Berry, he lost. I picked Diego, he won. Islam Arman didn't even fucking happen. I picked Ian Gary, which he won, but that fight was super fucking competitive. I picked Israel, he lost. I picked Alex, he lost. I picked John Jones, and he won. It was like I went fucking 2-5-1, I think, essentially, on that fucking video. So, pretty bad video, pretty bad takes. A good take to counteract this, the Bo Nickel post UFC 309 take. Listen, I'm going to have to make another fucking video. I'm going to make a video called An Uncomfortable Conversation about Bo Nickel. My prediction was Bo was cooked after UFC 309. What happened was Bo got cooked. Why is it so good? To the day, before UFC Des Moines, to the day, people were saying this dude was the Messiah. People were saying this guy was gonna be competitive with, like, fucking Robert Wood. People were, to the day, were like, his wrestling's too good, man. He's too good of a fighter, man. And he was a minus, like, 340 against Reinier de Ridder and still lost. And here's the thing. It's gotten to the point where now Bo Nickel, everyone's throwing him to the side. Everyone doesn't even give a fuck about Bo Nickel anymore. I called this, like, literally post 309. I said they fucked up. The UFC fucked up. They were going to have to give Bo Nickel a super talented unranked middleweight or a ranked middleweight, and I think he loses to basically everyone. Which I named Reinier de Ridder, I named Joe Pyfer, I named a RoboCop, I named a Paulo Costa. He still loses to those guys. It's just now known by everybody. Bo Nickel is now a fighter that we don't know how he does against a Joe Pyfer. Leading up to his career, we were like, oh, Bo Nickel's wrestling is too good. And his hands are getting there. Did you see the Val Woodburn performance, bro? The red flags were always there. I've always brought up how he needed to knee Jamie Pickett in the dick to take him down. I've always brought up how Val Woodburn was a weight class under him, moving up, and he's still, like, he knocked him out, but Val Woodburn's pretty shit. He's like a midget as well. I've always brought up how Cody Brundage is his second best win in his career, which is fucking nuts. Okay? Is nuts. And he had moments of, like, where he wasn't winning. Where Cody was, like, shucking him off and walking him down, and the crowd was like, Cody, Cody, Cody. Paul Craig, he goes fucking competitive with him. Like, those are competitive rounds. I'm looking at that performance, I'm like, Reinier de Ridder, while open on the feet, and I think Bo Nickel does have the ability to chin anybody. That can happen in every fight. Reinier's too big. And that's the thing, dude. Bo Nickel's too small for middleweight. He's too small. And he's too early in his career. They fucked up with Bo Nickel. Because here's the thing. If you would have given him another 3 fights, kind of build him up a little bit more, give him the matchups like a Dustin Stoltzfus. Give him the matchups like an Eric Mechanico, the guy that fought Ruzi Boev at Seattle. Those types of fucking, like, shitters. You know, or is he a welterweight? He might even be a fucking welterweight. I don't even think he's a middleweight. You know, but like a Stoltzfus, an Anders, a fucking, who's like a fucking Worley Alves. Fuck it, a Worley Alves, you could throw him in there. I don't know if Bo Nickel beats even a Joe Pyfer anymore. I don't think he does. I think Joe Pyfer probably chins Bo Nickel. Unless Bo Nickel's able to take him down, which he very well could. Joe Pyfer's takedown defense is still a little suspect after the Jack Hermanson fight. I think like him and Chris Curtis would be competitive now. And I thought Chris Curtis he's washed. But now I don't know if Bo Nickel, because he doesn't wrestle. He never fucking wrestles anybody anymore. He wrestled against Cody and Jamie Pickett. And Jamie Pickett, he couldn't even take him fucking down without a knee to the dick. Now, does he take him down later? Most likely, but we don't know. We don't know. Cody Brundage, he took him down. Cool, dude. I've seen Cedric Dumas hold him down for 3 rounds. Very fucking cool, buddy. Like, you're not special. Dude, Jacob Malkoun and Bo Nickel's a close fight. Bo Nickel and Jacob Malkoun is a competitive fight in my eyes now. And people are going to see it. Bo Nickel is a fraud. Just not because he loses to Reinier de Ridder, because that's disrespectful to Reinier de Ridder. It's a paradoxical type thing. Reinier de Ridder's really good, but Bo Nickel is still a fraud. A fraud means you are hyped up way more than you should have. Bo Nickel is the epitome of that definition. People, even after the Jamie Pickett shit where he had to knee him in the dick, after the Cody Brundage fight where he got shucked off and took Cody to a second round. You know what I mean? Like, Bo, you're not good. You're not that good. Went life and death with fucking Paul Craig, did you? He didn't quit against Reinier de Ridder. I hate people saying that, but he got met with mild discomfort and crumbled. That's not quitting. That's just a mentality thing. It's a physicality thing. It's physically you didn't meet the requirements, and mentally you didn't try and escape the position. You threw big 2 meaty overhands, got clipped, and then got knee to the gut and died. He's a fraud, and people are going to realize it very, very soon, even after the Reinier de Ridder fight. They're going to have to match him up very well for Bo Nickel to even get a crack at the rankings. And the thing is, the shittiest part about middleweight is, even after that fight, Bo Nickel has a way to get ranked. Abusbian Magomedov is not ranked. I think Bo Nickel could beat Abus, to be fair. I think Abus's cardio is terrible. But let's move to a bad take. I've been talking about this forever. Let's make this next one quick. Oh boy, I don't think I can make this one quick. UFC 297, 298, and 299 back-to-back-to-back. I picked Sean Strickland, Alexander Volkanovski, and Chito Vera. I got all 3 of these main events wrong, and 2 of these were pretty bad picks. I have no idea why I picked Chito Vera I know why I picked Chito. I expected he would do more of what he did in round 4 throughout the fight, which very clearly, if you watch a Chito Vera fight, I don't know why the fuck I thought that, because he never does that against anybody, even after it works for a little bit. He's like, I need to go back to striking at range, bro. Even like these co-main event picks, I fucking picked Mayra Bueno Silva and BSD. I got Robert Whittaker right, which was, you know. Yeah, Sean Strickland, I think that's still not a bad pick, especially going into 297. Dreykus was coming off, the Robert Whittaker performance, which, while good, he still showed some holes, and Sean Strickland was coming off the best performance of his life against, Israel Adesanya. But Dreykus, he's just Dreykus. I don't know why I picked Volk. Looking back on it, I should have never picked him. I should have picked Ilya, the younger, hungrier guy coming off a 10-7 round against Josh Emmett. Guy going up against a dude who got knocked out 4 months earlier. Terrible pick on my part. I apologize. Yeah, these are some pretty bad ones. Even like the other faces on here. 298, I did decently well. 4 of the 5 guys on here actually won. Rinya, Danny, Ian Gary, and Robert, but Volk lost. Sean and Brad Katona lost. Dude, I went 1-4 actually on the 297 thumbnail. Holy shit. Arnold, Myra. The only one I got one was Sam Patterson, and he fought fucking Johan Lennes. And 299, I went 2-2, I think. Right? Yeah, Mateus No, I went 1-3 on there. Holy shit, that's bad. All right, let's get to a good pick, or take rather. The Sean O'Malley Awards section in my awards section video. Just look at the guys that I picked, dude. By the way, if you don't remember, the Sean O'Malley Award was for Dana White Contender Series fighters that I believe can become superstars. These guys are all killing it. Islam Dulatov is yet to make his debut, but trust me, he's going to kill it in the UFC. They're all touted prospects, and they're all mad entertaining. Jacoby Smith, while still underrated by a lot of people, after the Preston Parsons fight, I think a lot of people should have taken notice, but still, it'll take a little bit for people to notice Jacoby Smith. Lone Kavanaugh is 2-0 in the UFC already. He beat Felipe Dos Santos and Jose Ochoa, both really solid guys. Kevin Vallejos just knocked out Sung Woo Choi, and everyone's comparing him to Ilia Topuria already, and people are remembering that he's the reason why John Silva's even in the UFC. Islam Dulatov, huge welterweight. All these guys are going to become huge superstars. 3 of them already made their debuts. Lone Kavanaugh already 2-0 in the UFC, already getting edits made of him, already looking like a badass. Kevin Vallejos, again, already becoming super marketable. Jacoby Smith got a brutal round 1 KO. Islam Dulatov already getting matched up pretty well. He's going to make a splash when he does make his debut. I think they're talking about him making his debut at International Fight Week. I'm not sure. I think that he actually said that he might not be able to make it, but I think he wants to be in August, I believe. So we'll see what they do with Islam Dulatov. But all these guys, 3 of the 4 have made their debuts, and they're all looking really fucking good. So the bad take, the last bad take in this video is Pantoja versus Usyk. The aftermath. Fuck. My prediction for this fight was that Usyk would win dominantly. As you can see, I have it in the thumbnail. What happened was Usyk lost. Now, a lot of you are going to look at this and be like, dude, it was a competitive fight. It was very competitive. The reason why this take is so bad, because in my recap video, I'm pretty sure I said Usyk was robbed and that he very clearly won, and it was a brutal robbery, and that they need to take it to a commission and get it reviewed because Usyk needs his title because he got brutally robbed. Looking back on it, I rewatched the fight. I rewatched it when Usyk fought Moreno. He very clearly lost. It was like, looking back on it, I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? I was in complete denial. I was completely in denial. I was a huge Usyk fan. I still am. He definitely lost, like, insanely clearly on rewatch. Round 5 goes to Pantoja. It sadly does. Because Usyk did just kind of throw away the round with the takedown, the control, and he landed some good ground and pound as well. You could also throw my Jonathan Martinez take on here, that Jonathan will outpace Jose. I don't even know what the fuck that means. I don't know why that's on the thumbnail, but, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah. My last take to throw in this video. My last good picks. UFC 303 predictions. My prediction, just watch the video, bro. If you want to see a pick masterclass, look at this video. I got every pick right in this video. I technically went 13 of 13. I said I was picking Lopez against Ortega. Is in the thumbnail. Of course, Brian pulled out fight day. I said I was still picking Lopez against Ige on Twitter. So, suck it. I slashed this card to fucking bits. I picked Vinicius Oliveira. I picked Joan Silva. I picked fucking Jillian Robertson against Michelle Waterson-Gomez. I picked Martin Boudet. I picked fucking Roman Dolidze against Anthony Smith. I picked fucking Macy Chasson against Maia Bueno Silva. I picked Ian Gary. I fleeced this card to fucking bits, and I still don't get enough credit for it. I also fleeced Des Moines as well. I went 10-2 on there when most people went 6-6. So if you want to give me some, good old noggin, I would happily oblige. Yeah. I thought this was a funny video. I thought I would just kind of poke fun at myself, kind of see what fights I got raw, what takes of mine aged well, which of them aged poorly, or just my predictions that, went fucking hard in the paint. All right. Again, of course, this weekend, UFC 315, Muhammad versus Della Maddalena. I will post those picks probably on Wednesday. Not too sure. We'll see what happens. If you like the video, give it a like. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. Leave a comment down below on videos you'd like to see me next. I'll see you guys for UFC 315 picks and breakdown. Peace.